Finally, you guys, I'm back with another food hack. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, back to share another food hack with you. And today we are up with our dessert and booze hacks. You guys know I always share a non-alcoholic version as well. And I am dying to show you guys these because these were pre-recorded like a very long time ago. Like the dessert I made for Super Bowl and the drink I made when Madison stayed here when we went to the largest Dollar Tree. So I've had this footage for quite some time, and if I don't share it now, it's no longer going to apply because I selected a dessert and a drink that were considered frozen. So we're doing a frozen s'more and a frozen hot chocolate. It just seemed pretty fitting for the winter, but now that we're into March and the groundhog predicting an early spring, the flowers are going to be popping up and nothing frozen is going to apply anymore. So let me take you down to the counter. I'm going to show you how to make a frozen s'more and then a frozen hot chocolate. So here we are, guys, with our trusty book, and first up is that frozen s'more on page 33. So again, I thought that was super fitting for this time of year, and it says, if you're mystified by marshmallow cream, you'll be even more intrigued to find out that it becomes a chewy space-age foam when frozen. Layered atop chocolate ice cream, it creates a delicious alchemy that's pure wizardry. So I think that is so super cute. Like, again, I love all the little things that they say before because it kind of lets you know what you're about to come up with. So I like the whole concept of like the space age frozen foam. And so here are the instructions in case you wanted to screenshot that. And the ingredients that we need are just some graham crackers. I'm using the Honey Made low fat with real honey. And then I'm using the Kraft Jet Puff marshmallow cream. Actually scored that at the Dollar Tree. And then for my chocolate ice cream, I decided to switch it up a bit, and we're going to use the KitKat one that I picked up from Walmart. I know the guys love the KitKat one. Now I'm going to show you guys when I start layering this out that I did not follow the instructions quite exactly as I should have, and that was my mistake. But we're gonna now start off with step number 1. So first I started off with a 9x9 glass Pyrex dish, and I opened up my graham crackers. So I will say that the larger the dish, the easier it'll be to not have to like break the graham crackers apart. I was going to leave the end empty, and then I was like, nah, forget it. Let me try and fill the hole. And that was like annoying because aesthetically that doesn't look perfect, and that drives me bananas. But once everything gelled together and it froze, it served the purpose. But once you have that first layer of graham crackers, then you're going to smooth on your chocolate ice cream. Now they said to make your ice cream like completely soft and melted. I left this ice cream out for like 20 minutes. So I mean, you can tell that it's very maneuverable, but I didn't want it to be any more liquidy than that because I didn't want it to make the graham crackers soggy before it froze. So this did take the entire container of ice cream, and I was after time able to manipulate like a nice smooth finish. The instructions say from here to stick this in the freezer and get this refrozen, and then once that becomes rock solid, then you're going to add your marshmallow cream. I really didn't feel like waiting for that, and so I just went ahead and started to add the marshmallow cream because this was actually filmed the day of Super Bowl, and this was our Super Bowl dessert. So I had to get it done sooner than later, so then I just started smearing on the marshmallow cream. Now, there's a reason why they tell you to do things the way that they do, and so follow instructions, Kira. The marshmallow cream is sticky, and so it's not very easy to maneuver on a soft base. So if this were frozen, this probably wouldn't have taken me as long to smear it out. So I had to be very slow and generous so that I didn't mix I guess it really didn't matter if you mixed the ice cream with it, but the ice cream was melted because that's what they told me to do, and so now it was kind of like gelling with that. So this was a little bit more difficult, and had I had listened, I'm sure it would have been easier. That's my fault for rushing. But if you guys are going to try this, I would suggest giving yourself ample amount of time and just being able to freeze them in succession so that it's easier for you to layer them together. So once I was done manipulating that ridiculously difficult marshmallow cream on top of that melted ice cream, now it was time to add the top of our s'more. So I pretty much just followed what I did before, layering the graham crackers, and I tried to line it up perfectly so that when we cut it, they were going to be the exact pieces below, if you know what I mean. I definitely think I did a better job layering that corner piece on the top layer, which is good because obviously you want the top layer to look nicer than the bottom. So I was happy with the way that that looked. And then I did put that in the freezer for many, many hours. So I made that pretty early, I would say around noon. And then we brought this out maybe about 8 o'clock, right after the halftime show. We brought this out to eat. Now, I probably should have let this defrost a little longer before cutting, something similar to like, you know, when you're cutting an ice cream cake or something like that. But again, I was afraid because I wanted this to ultimately be like a ice cream sandwich. I feel like that was kind of what they were creating with this frozen s'more concept. So I didn't want it to be too liquidy down below or it just wasn't going to hold together. But once I did get a chance to pop it out, I think that it was like even better than I had imagined it to be look-wise. And the flavor profile, you guys, spot on. So I love anything frozen. I like things ice cold. I've mentioned like the colder the better for anything. I take tons of ice in my drink. I love the refrigerator in my garage because it never gets opened, and when milk comes out of there, it is like so lethally cold that I like want to guzzle from the container. It's so stinking delicious. So I love things really cold, and this was just perfect. I honestly am not a s'mores person. If we were to go to a campfire or something, I wouldn't be that person that reaches for the s'more at the campfire. But this way, holy cow, it just was so good. The KitKat ice cream was the perfect complement. I highly recommend this dessert. It's super easy and kid friendly, so something you can make for your kid. You can use whatever kind of ice cream you want. I don't know, definitely another one of my favorites from this book. And now we're back to our book, and now it's time to make that frozen hot chocolate. So I've almost made everything on this page, page 65. I feel like this was like one of the best pages in the book so far, discovering some really delicious drinks. What are the odds that every time I picked something that it would be something from this page? So this says, for the love of chocolate, please don't ever mix water with your hot cocoa. The trick here is to use frozen milk ice cubes instead of regular ones for a rich, frothy, frozen version. And then they give down below their suggestions of alcohol. Again, we're gonna do this in a non-alcoholic version as well. So here's just my canister of my hot chocolate powder, and then we're going to use my 2% milk. And then this is, I'm gonna use Bailey's just because Madison likes Bailey's and she's here. She's the one who's going to be drinking this. I'm not a Bailey's fan, and that is their suggestion in the book. So you'll see at the end that I changed mine up a little bit, but the recipe does call for Bailey's in specific. Now, it does say that you're going to use ice cube trays to freeze them, but 2 cups of milk, you guys, is a lot. Like, I don't have enough ice cube trays for that. So I'm using this silicone one that actually is meant for ice, like water, to make ice cube shot glasses. But I figured that was going to work the best for now as far as what I needed to, because there's no way that 2 cups of milk would fit in ice cube trays. Like, you would need like 3 or 4 of them. So hopefully this was going to work. That was my plan. It did actually work out, and those things are fantastic. I'll link them below if you guys want to check them out. I've done that with chocolate and made like chocolate shot glasses and stuff, so I really love that. It's one of the best little like fun things I scooped up during a holiday time, like on their after Christmas sale. And let me tell you, I am so glad that I chose this because I put this thing on a sheet pan so it would be easier for me to drop it in the deep freezer, and almost 2 cups of milk didn't fit in this. And you see how deep these things are. I seriously, like I said, would have needed like a crazy amount of ice cube trays, but I knew this would work, and there was a tiny bit of milk left in the measuring cup at the end, but I just overcompensated and added extra milk at the blender. So this is about 3 hours later when my milk cubes were frozen. It was a little hard to get it out of the silicone thing. It was kind of annoying, but needless to say, like I said, that was the best vessel I could think of. And because they were so big and solid, I actually ended up blending this in little bits and pieces. So it said to blend all of the ice cubes with a cup of milk, but instead I did half of the cubes and a half a cup of milk and got the froth started, and then I added the last of the other 4. Look at that thing, it was so funny, it looked like udders. I was laughing so hard when I was done taking that out. And then I put the last half cup of milk in, and then in goes the cocoa powder, and then you're going to blend. Now here's where you would stop if you want to do the non-alcoholic version. It is simply just a hot chocolate frozen. I would say it's like a chocolate shake, but you're not using chocolate ice cream, and I feel like cocoa powder doesn't taste anything like regular chocolate. So this definitely had that frozen hot chocolate feel. I tasted it a couple of times and I was like, yes, I definitely can tell the difference on my palate, like that flavor of hot chocolate. So I poured myself a glass and put it off to the side, and it's, look at that. Oh, the consistency was perfect. So I poured it, I put mine off to the side, and then here what was left was going to be Madison. So I poured that Bailey's in, I put the blender back on top and blended it, and then here is hers with that Bailey's version. Now I've mentioned to you guys, I'm more of a Di Serono girl. I really love amaretto, and amaretto and chocolate sounded amazing as well. So I threw some amaretto in mine and then poured it back in my cup. I topped each cup with whipped cream and then a little bit of chocolate chips, and holy cow, you guys, this was like the perfect like nightcap. So good. It reminded me very much of a mudslide or something along those lines. Very, very creamy, and something I would only do as like a after dinner dessert drink. This is not something you would drink all day. I did put a couple of little marshmallows in there, so it looked like a real hot cocoa with some mini marshmallows on top of the whipped cream, but they were so delicious. We sipped them through a straw. I actually really love drinking frozen drinks like that through a straw. I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel fancy. So they were super, super good, and I really, really think you guys should give these recipes a try. And if you do and you like them, and make sure you come back, let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed these food hacks, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.